Disclaimer: this podcast is for entertainment purposes and contains satire. Discretion is advised.
Hi, welcome to Turning Phrases, where I'm wrong and you're probably right. But that does not matter because I'm hosting the podcast, so fuck you. Anyway, what we do on Turning Phrases is we find out the history of phrases, but only at the end, because at the beginning we get everything wrong. And today I'm here with Adam.
Hey, what's up?
And I'm also here with Corey.
Hi.
And my name is Chris, and I'm a terrible human being.
Yep.
Yeah, you've been my best friend for how many years now?
Too many. No.
Yeah, that's how many. It's like 25
Mucho
years,
fun.
right?
Something like that.
23
I don't know.
years? 20 is something, God.
Stop counting.
I don't blame you.
It's like a prison sentence.
It is like a prison sentence.
You kind of just.
I
let it
ended up,
happen.
I remember when I told you, it was like, you are now stuck. You are stuck for life. And today, I've heard that we're going to be discussing a certain phrase. Pedro, can you give me that phrase?
Absolutely. Today we are going to be talking about a phrase, a part of a phrase called being in a pretty. Let me try that again. Today we're going to go into a phrase called being in a pretty pickle, or
Well-
any variation of pretty
Thought it
pickle.
was pretty as a pickle.
Well, we don't know that now, unfortunately. God. Hi, Jeanie. Hi. This is 90% of our show is just Jeanie. She shows up and that's
Jeanie
it.
is a chaotic gremlin.
Yeah, that's actually when we have the next guest on. That's going to be the chaotic gremlin. That's Neuron, and that's a problem for everybody involved. Anyway, I'm going to say that Pretty Pickle is about a guy who had sexual relationships with a pickle one day.
No problem.
That's clearly what it is. And I think that's what the phrase means.
Cool.
I don't care about the history yet. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, that's not correct. Pretty and simple. It basically just means exactly what it says. It means to be as pretty as a pickle.
But pickles are ugly.
That is false.
Your opinion.
That is false. The person who made this phrase was incredibly,
lover. They were a pickle
incredibly
lover.
invested in pickles. Really, it was more of a financial thing. They were just like, we're gonna make pickles back. We're gonna bring pickles back. I got a lot
I
of money
think that
left.
was the name of Justin Timberlake's song. When he
I'm
did
Yeah.
that.
bringing pickles back.
We're bringing
Yeah.
pickles back, and the way we're gonna do that is a marketing campaign. And the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna make people understand that pickles are amazingly beautiful.
They're just hot.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
you've
it's
seen like the M&Ms. They had one of those. It was a pickle, and yeah. Let me
Wow.
just tell you, the bumps on that guy, glistening.
Hey, listen, I've had friends that work in sex ops. Fuck me.
Sex offices.
Sex shops. I said it right
Listen,
that
the
time.
sex shop is run by the sex office.
Yeah, and I know for a fact that most dildos are pickle shaped.
Really?
Yeah, they have those warts and everything. It's fine.
I mean, I think there's a little bit more to it.
I wouldn't say those are the ones that my friend bought.
I'm not
just
sure that would be the
okay.
most financially.
She
'Cause,
liked pickles and she wanted them in her.
Oh.
oh wow.
Damn.
Okay. I mean,
Kinky.
This is where the episode's going. It's pretty as a
is that-
pickle.
I guess.
No,
I mean,
okay, so I think my opinion of where the phrase came
Oh,
from.
okay. Well, first off, let's get the actual history of the phrase.
No,
No, phrase definition.
But
Where's
I-
Corey? Give her definition.
You want? Go ahead.
Hers was that people hate pickles.
No.
That's not it.
What's your
That was
definition?
according to him.
What's your definition?
Okay, I think my definition is that in like early Victorian era.
That's a history. What's your definition of the
Yeah,
phrase?
what does it mean? That tells
Alright,
what it
alright.
means.
I think the definition is that.
In 1922.
Alright, so I think the definition for me is that basically someone has a nicely shaped pickle dick shape.
That's
Okay.
okay. And that explains
Alright.
the warts, and that explains my thing.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Pedro,
I
can we
guess.
have the
And
definition?
someone just started getting sexy with it. It was like, you got a pretty pickle.
I already knew where this was going to go when I suggested it.
Chris tells me that all the time.
It was my mistake when I said we're doing Pretty Pickle today. It's going to be a great episode. Hi. You know me from Turning Phrases, a terrible show that you have been watching. And one of the worst things is we consistently forget to say like, comment, and subscribe. And the reason that is Because we're stupid. And we will never remember. And that's why we're putting this in here. Because I am a sad sack of shit. So please, remember as you watch our show, feel guilty for us. And like, comment, and subscribe. And once again, thank you for watching Turning Praises. We apologize for everything. Pedro, I'm going to ask you one more time because
Yes.
I've asked you three
Now.
times now.
Well, I've been
Definition.
waiting for a way to wedge myself in here.
Like a pickle.
Yes. To be in a pretty pickle is to be in a difficult situation.
Oh.
A pretty difficult situation.
Like when a pickle vibrator dildo gets stuck in you.
Ugh.
Oh shit.
That-
It's an
got this.
awful
In which
visit
end,
to the
though?
hospital.
I don't think it really matters depending on what end at one point. I'm sure doctors have seen it every way.
All right, so the answer here is that Pretty Pickle
Mhm.
was the name of a company that was founded in 1976.
PP, yeah.
Yeah, PP it was the
PP
brainchild. It was actually the original Steve Jobs' first venture.
Right.
A lot of people don't talk about it.
PP for
Um,
everyone.
Yeah, so PP was
What year was this again?
1970, whatever I said before.
Okay.
It was 1970. It was around there.
Okay.
You know, it was of the time. 1970, 35, 6. Something like that. Something like that.
70, 35, 6.
Yeah.
Happened 10,000 years in the future.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, you know, calendars were different back then.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Steve Jobs' first venture, and it was called Pretty Pickle. And the thing was, there were a lot of people invested in it. And eventually, the pickle turned sour.
Oh.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, you did it.
All right.
There you go. Adam's done for the day. Yay!
Cool. Yeah, pickle turned sour, and that's the situation. And what happened is the investment sort of dried up, and a lot of people were in the Pretty Pickle.
You found your joke and you're writing that
The
thing.
yeah, they were in the Pretty Pickle. I was just saying, this
Yeah.
is what it is. They were in Pretty Pickle, and it turns out Pretty Pickle stock prices sort of started diving down, real down.
Yep.
And so they were in trouble. They were in a Pretty Pickle, and that's where the phrase comes from. And that's the whole
that's
story.
why every company, when they were in trouble, they say Pretty Pickle.
They're like, it's really looks like Enron. We could be like, well, you're in Enron. Yeah, you're in one of those. You know,
Pretty Pickles.
can't think of another failing company. I mean, there's so
Just
goddamn
Enron.
many.
There's only one company that ever
God.
failed. Enron.
Someone name another failed company that isn't
I-
Tesla.
Ah.
EV games.
EB games? Are
EB
they not
games.
doing good?
They
Oh,
don't
dang.
exist.
So,
Listen, you need to come to this podcast for financial advice. That is
God,
my
no,
recommendation.
we
believe
don't-
I haven't done
This is all legally binding.
You're a
financial
doctor.
advice.
I'm a
No.
professor. What are you?
Well, you know, on the side, I'm also kind of a
I
financial
am
consultant.
a cosmic being.
That's not a real job.
All right, well, legal disclaimer: she's not really a
Cosmic
cosmic being.
Green. And he's not really a doctor, and I'm possibly not.
No,
a
I'm
professor.
not. Which was what qualifies me to give financial advice.
I'm a
'Cause
psychiatrist.
you never trust.
Okay, there you
Okay,
go.
no, that's okay. I'm a therapist.
You're just gonna keep naming things until we believe one of them.
That's what I meant to say. I didn't mean to say psychiatrist. The psychiatrist is the person who signs you off on medication pills.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
One of those pills.
I'm
Medication.
not believing you
And I
anymore
don't-
at this point.
And I can't do that.
And
So
what
I
were
can
you?
only give off advice.
I understand. What do you think the history of Pretty Pickle is?
So I don't know jack shit about the history of a pretty pickle, but I do know
It's from the Victorian
I-
ages. That's where you kept
I
going
know
to.
the meaning of I'm stuck in I'm in a bit of a pickle, as in I'm in a bit of a difficult situation. That I knew. I didn't know what the fuck pretty pickle was.
That's one that you like to fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, continue on.
I mean, we can work with that. I mean, so if you're in a pickle, that means it's a problem. But if you're in a pretty pickle, that means you're in a problem. But like, you kind of like it.
That's
You
what
know
I
what I
was
mean?
thinking. Yeah.
Like, it's like maybe
That's
you're into
exactly
this
what I
problem.
was thinking.
No, you know what a Pretty Pickle is? It's when a dog rips off the head cord. No. A Pretty Pickle is that bad decision you make when you're at a bar at night and you find a guy and you're like, I'm going to go home with that guy and
No.
that's going to be a pretty pickle come morning.
Like, that's for morning, Chris, to decide.
That's for morning. Yeah. So, what was it about Victorian age again?
Okay, so the Victorian era was like, you can't really say the nasty words like, butt, fuck, shit, dick. So they had to use things that were like, okay, what looks like this, or what can be compared to this, and we're like, I heard that he had a pretty pickle.
So we could have been like, oh, well, you're in a pretty dick now.
Exactly.
You're in the
Because
dick
in
of
the
a
Victorian
situation.
This
for-
podcast is a pretty ass.
Because
And
in
I
the
mean
Victorian
that in a
era,
bad way.
they were all like very sophisticated. And
You're on the
had to,
podcast.
like,
At least support
say
it.
certain things, like in a sophisticated manner. They couldn't just outright say curse words because you would be viewed as undignified and stuff, and you'll be like basically known as a lesser being.
I don't even think we were allowed to say curse words until like 1965, and then they were suddenly allowed again.
And we're working on going back there.
Yeah, very carefully.
We're working on
Very
it.
carefully. We have a guy there trying to make it happen. That's all I'll say. On TV.
Well, I just meant like because we can't say curse words on YouTube because we'll be in trouble.
No,
We
you
can say curse words. We're far enough into the video
Oh,
now.
fuck!
Yeah, you just can't use a knife and wave it around in front of my face. That's the
Oh,
only rule
three
that I had.
knives.
The
Three
only rule
knives.
that I had
It's
for
the
this
same-
was don't stab me with a knife, and everybody's like, I don't understand
Yeah,
how
look,
that's
you gotta
even a
make
thing.
rules. That's how you look. I don't want to blame the victim or anything, but I mean, come on. If you want to talk about asking for it,
Wow.
if you want to be like, don't stab me with a knife. Well, that's how you're gonna get stabbed.
I've been stabbed 3 times, and I still don't want to be stabbed with
Did
a
you
knife.
ever say, "Don't stab me"?
Surprisingly, no. For
Well,
3
well,
times.
well, you know,
To be fair, I didn't expect
Well,
any of them to
maybe if you
happen.
say, don't stab me, then they won't stab you.
Well, I mean, you should try that next time.
Stabber, no stabbing. Stabber, no stabbing.
Yeah, you can try that too. That's pretty good.
Never, no stabbing.
Come on, we can practice.
Have any of... Okay, I don't know how old you are, and I'm going to ask this question in a second.
Uh-huh.
I'm assuming you never watched Dora the Explorer.
I know of it.
That's where I'm at.
I used to call her Watermelon Head.
I mean, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's. a
I
little
mean,
like
it's
you guys
green
put
like a
that words.
pickle, so I guess I get that.
I don't
but-
ever realize
was your
that
TV
both
adjusted properly?
Stewie Griffin and Dora have similar shaped hips.
Yeah, they're related. You didn't know that?
Dora's half white.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why she's on TV.
There's a lot of stuff
Or,
makes that about.
Stewie's half Hispanic.
That can be true too.
He
I
was adopted.
or Lois cheated.
Or
He
Lois
doesn't
cheated,
look
yeah.
like Peter.
No.
He's way too smart to be
I
related
mean, he
to
looks
Peter.
like Arnold, right? From Hey Arnold. We're back to Hey Arnold.
Wait,
Dora the Explorer and Arnold came together and had Stewie.
This-
Boo.
Yeah, it could be it.
he's not into jazz nearly enough for that to be true.
Jazz?
Hey Arnold was all jazz.
It's all what? I mean, I guess.
It was all jazz. It was a jazz-based cartoon show.
I don't. I have no. I
Like
don't.
every
What?
episode, it was heavy into jazz and blues
I
music.
think you're wrong.
I am not wrong.
I think you're making that up.
I am
mean,
not
think there
making
were-
it up.
There were
Like,
probably
even Every
episodes.
show was like, we're gonna play jazz music right here.
I don't remember that.
I think you are.
I'm gonna be open and honest. I've never really watched that show.
How dare you? It was a damn good show, but there was like there
There
might have been
was so
some
much
jazz.
jazz. In
There
that.
might have been a little bit of jazz. I'm not saying there was a no jazz situation, but I'm just
First
saying.
off, the theme
Uh,
song to the show was jazz,
I mean that's fair, but
and then every episode like kind of led into like some sort of music that's related to jazz. It goes in because New York City is pretty much famous for jazz.
I mean maybe, but I don't know about that.
I like how your pitch goes up like 10 points. But
Okay.
also, Adam, to be fair, your memory is the worst out of
Yeah,
anyone I've
okay.
ever met in my life.
That's true, but I'm still like I could still be pretty
When
confident.
Christmas Eve?
It's Circa 1975.
That's the
December.
thing. I can't
It's
trust your
December
opinion.
to January. One of those.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, this is Pretty Pickle we've gotten ourselves.
Okay, so now it's my turn for Pretty Pickle.
Oh, hey.
I'm going to give an actual fake answer. No, I'm going to give an answer that might be true, and I'm guessing no.
Okay.
Pickles have been around for a while, right?
Citation needed.
Yeah, citation needed. I'm going to say it's one of the older vegetables. I'm going to say...
Not a vegetable.
It's just a cucumber.
It's a fruit.
cucumbers.
It's
You're
a
right. The
cucumber.
cucumbers.
I actually have no idea if I'm right, but
You
there's
might
like
be
a good
right.
50% chance.
I'm gonna say vegetable for the time being. It's probably a fruit.
It's probably, if you think it's a vegetable, it's probably a fruit. That's what I've learned. That's been the primary thing I've gotten out of the
I
public
would
school
say at this
system.
point, everything that we think is a vegetable is actually a fruit now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, look at all of us in this generation. We're all fruits. So, like, that's what happened, man.
You're
This was
calling
the start.
me out on a
This
podcast.
was the start.
If it grows from the ground, it's a vegetable.
That's not true.
That's what I've been told.
But,
Apples grow from the ground.
I mean, they grow from a tree.
That is
That
comes
now-
from the ground.
Okay, well, everything.
But there's still
Fruit,
Wait a minute.
fruit
but
is a
like,
seed inside.
what?
Fruits are seeds inside.
Yeah.
Like we open it up and that's that.
Yeah.
I guess technically a cucumber is one because
They have seeds.
inside.
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. So we're all eating pickled fruit?
Yeah. I
So
mean,
a cucumber is just the reason how it became a pickle is because it gets pickled.
anyway,
That's a good point. They don't talk about that enough on the mainstream media.
in like 1900 BC, I'm completely
Oh.
wrong. I'm making this up, of course, because I have to be wrong a little bit. Most of it.
All of it.
What ended up happening was they were trying to have cucumbers and everything was going wrong.
Ooh.
They just tasted wrong. They didn't know what to do with them. It was just a bad
wait a minute.
day.
All right, yeah,
and
but
they were
okay.
looking at the cucumbers and they're like, what do we do with these? And
You
they,
do just sort of pick them off and eat them, like it.
They put them in vinegar and then they ate it. in
yeah,
vinegar.
but the problem was that it didn't taste right because there was insects and bugs inside of it. It was just a
Yeah.
bad day all around. They're like, if we put it in vinegar, that'll just like burn off all that stuff and kill it, right? That's right.
You're a genius.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put it in the vinegar. There we go. That's how they sound in
With some
1800
salt,
BC.
Because bugs don't like salt.
Yeah, so they just ended up putting it in there, and it just became this hideous thing. They were like, "Yeah, it's brown now. I don't want to eat brown."
And then someone dared them to eat it.
Yeah, and they were like, "I don't eat that. That just sounds like
I'll
a
bet
really
you
bad idea."
$100 from the time was
Yeah,
like $1,000.
there's like, "What are we gonna call it? We're gonna call it." They ended up looking, and I was like, "It doesn't look pretty. It's gonna have to do it anyway." And they ate it, and there's just like,
Damn.
"It's a pretty pickle. Things are going wrong. Things are going very wrong. Gladys, things are going wrong."
You're eating a pickle.
Glad it comes in.
I'm not sure, man. Like it's, I don't know. Like I guess.
I have a favorite one. It's like a half sour, I think they're called.
Mhm.
Half sour pickles.
Wait, what? Are you serious? Half sour?
Half sour.
Yeah. Half.
See, I don't like pickles.
So
Korean.
half sours aren't very sweet. They have like this nice dill taste.
Ooh, okay.
So they're like kind of like in between.
Okay.
What's the other half?
So I don't like pickles,
Okay.
but I will definitely try that. The only other pickle I've ever actually eaten is by this brand called Wickles.
And it was made by white people.
What?
I don't know if it was made by white people. Probably.
And it's called Wickles.
That's pretty. That's a pretty wickle.
It is a pretty one.
That's a pretty wickle.
No,
It's
so
pretty good.
candles, Wickle.
Wickle.
No, so a Wickle, the brand, basically makes these pickles that are both hot from like the spices and also sweet. But it's so it's like you
From
bite
the
it
spices.
I'm gonna need you to give me a 1 out of
for
10
sugar.
in terms
They
of like.
add sugar to
You
the
were saying they
pickle.
were hot from the spices. I was going to
Yeah,
say
hot
also
from the
they're sweet
spices,
from the
like,
spices.
Hot from the spices, as in like chili, chili flakes.
And how attractive are they?
Yeah.
Just like 1 to 10.
So
rough.
I usually get the chip looking ones.
Yeah, you
They're
can't.
actually not bad.
And they
How
look,
pretty
they look
are
pretty
they?
good. All right.
They're actually pretty. They're actually pretty pickle.
There you go. So you can buy these in the store. You can find them at your local grocer
Or Amazon.
or
It's
your
probably
We
local
don't
not.
Amazon.
support pesos, but we all know that we get everything on Amazon because it's easier.
That's true, except for the stuff that I buy on Etsy, which is not easier.
Exactly.
But they, so their pickles are highly, just very attractive.
So,
Uh-huh.
Adam, I'm going to ask you what your favorite pickle is, but I already know you don't know.
I mean, I don't have a name for
Uh-huh.
you. I couldn't tell you. I would just tell you that like they're good.
Gerber's. It's Gerber's. It's
Gerber's?
mine.
What's it mean,
Isn't that the
Gerber?
baby food?
Wait,
thing?
isn't there a Gerber
Does
pickle?
Gerber's make baby food
it?
pickles?
There's a
Gerber's
Gerber
baby
pickle.
food.
There's also a Gerber pickle.
Okay, but hold on. Hold on. Stand up. Stand by.
Pedro,
Stand
you
by.
have the computer. Can you? Isn't there a
Yeah,
Gerber
there are no
pickle?
computers.
Huh?
They don't
Gerber
exist.
pickle?
Gerber pickle.
Okay,
Alright,
hold on.
hang on, I'll find it
Stand
out.
by. Stand by.
Stand by.
Take a pickle.
Uh-huh.
Mash it up. Baby food. Is this gonna work?
But
It's not gonna work, right?
With
It's not gonna work.
but with adults and stuff, the baby can't have it until they're like.
You think of it, it's kind of like an immunization. If you give them a lot of salt in the beginning, then they won't have heart attacks later.
Really?
No. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, all I'm seeing is gherkin.
Gherkin.
Gherkins. Hey.
Gherkin.
Yeah, gherkin. Not
Hey, we could start doing that's pretty gherkin.
So gherkins are like one of the ugliest pickles there are, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
So, hold on, we could do like that's a girthy gherkin.
Okay, so gherkin pickles I would kill.
A
I don't
quirky
want
gherkin?
people to ever having one. They're awful.
Okay.
Now, one that I
We're
would
doing
fuck.
fuck, marry,
I
kill
also
on
agree.
pickles. All right, that's
No,
good.
you fucking said it, so
No,
I'm
it's not
going
a
with
bad.
it.
It's not a bad
I
plan.
would fuck a
I'm
whale.
going first, and then you can go. He asked
This is
me.
very serious, Cody.
I would fuck
Yes.
a pickle that you would get at a restaurant, like a diner. Like the diner pickles are like the half. They are half sour, like the very clean tasting one.
Yeah.
Like
I would
like this.
absolutely fuck one. It would be a fine time. It's a good time. If you want to marry a pickle, you go to a farmer's market.
That's a good point. You gotta go out to the people don't date enough. That's what we're trying to say here.
And that
You can't just go online. You gotta go out to the farmer's market,
And-
find yourself a pickle.
and they're going to be the best pickles, and they're going to be so pretty. And they're going to be well made, and they're going to be like all these extra spices and stuff like that. Those are the pickles that you bring home to your parents.
Wait, you can marry a pickle?
You can marry that pickle. Technically, I can probably marry
I don't
you
know
to
if
a
that
pickle.
sounds kosher.
Only in
I think I can actually legally marry you to a pickle. Because
Can you
I had
look
the
that up?
ability to do so.
Wait, what?
Now I will let you go on your pickle fucking.
Yep, we're fuck Mary kill for pickles. We need this.
I
This
would
is very
kill
important.
whatever the fuck he said about the Gerber, not Gerber pickle.
Okay.
We
Sorry.
forgot the name again. Can you tell us
Yeah.
again?
Gerber.
Gherkin.
Gherkin.
Yeah,
I would
gherkin,
kill
gerbil,
the
pickle.
Really? Gherkins are fucking good.
I never tried it.
No,
Aren't
we're
those-
already killing
hold on,
them.
those
Two
are
of us
little
are
ones,
killing.
right?
Yeah,
Those little ones?
they're really little.
They're
They're like
really good.
they're like your toes, but like inverted.
Yeah. What the hell does your toe look like?
It's inverted.
And green.
No, I don't eat pickles, so I would marry the whipples that I usually eat.
I mean, yeah.
Because those are
that's-
the only ones that I like.
Yeah,
You're basically
Uh,
already married to the Wickles. You
Exactly.
got that.
Exactly.
but the question now becomes, which one do you fuck?
I would fuck the one that you recommended, the sour, just chop someone.
A hot dog is a sandwich.
I mean, I guess, but a dick isn't a sandwich.
Uh-huh.
We've definitely gone over that.
I mean, it's
Yeah, I'm
not
sure
for
we
me.
have at some point in our
We've
friendship.
shredded that for a dick is not a sandwich, so it can't be that. If a hot dog's a dick and a hot dog's a pickle and a pickle's a dick, by the transitive property, the
We
dick
knew
is a
where
sandwich,
this
and we already
episode
know that
was
that's wrong.
going when we started it.
Okay, so logically speaking, a pickle cannot be a dick; it must be a hot dog, and
There was
therefore a sandwich.
No other direction this episode was going to go from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know, after we're done with this, I want us to go to the grocery and grab a jar of pickles.
I mean, I'm gonna be on the lookout for them. I'll tell you that much.
I really want
You're going to get Wickles, you're going to get gherkins, I'm
They
going to
are
go to a
not-
farmer's
they
market,
are-
and then
they
we will
have-
make a decision.
They have not paid to sponsor this episode.
No one's
They are
going to pay
doing
to
this
sponsor
today.
us because you
That's a
turned
fair-
me with a
That's a
knife.
fair point.
Printed fake knife.
It is a 3D printed fake knife. and
You're a
as soon as
3D
this
printed
recording
fake
is
knife.
over- That's also
You're
true.
3D printed?
Yeah, you know that.
At this point,
It's
yeah,
very
it's mostly
nice
3D
materials.
printed.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Mostly around the pickle
Mine
area.
yeah.
Is it detachable?
It's pretty.
That's a song. Untouchable penis. Okay, you know what? Can we have the history of this? Because
Please.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to do that.
we already did and we failed miserably.
Oh, right. The
Steve
history.
Jobs, Victorian 1800s BC.
First, the origin of the word pickle itself comes from the Dutch word pickle, which means often refers to a pickling brine or a spicy sauce.
Yeah.
And
That,
the phrase
well, that's because of what they do. Yeah.
it eventually evolved to mean becoming either incredibly inebriated, and eventually evolved to becoming being in a difficult situation.
I heard inbred.
Now, the person who came up with it in the 17th century was William Shakespeare in his play *The Tempest*.
What?
He
I mean,
used the
she's
phrase
close
"in a
to
It's the
pickle."
closest,
Yeah,
closest
Jack-
wins.
I believe so.
In your face.
I don't know. It's,
Oh!
I don't actually know if Shakespeare is considered Victorian era, but it doesn't matter. You were still closest compared to 1850 BC and 1970 something, so it's fine.
1976. Steve Jobs, original job.
Yeah.
Petro's gonna look up Victorian era
He used to
right
give
now.
people jobs. That's why they called him that.
He used to give him jobs pickling pickles
Yep.
at the pickle factory.
Yep.
Peter worked there.
Why is it doing that?
Morning Chris makes a lot of decisions afterwards.
Yep. All right.
Oh,
Well,
like I said, William Shakespeare said
Yeah.
it in his play *The Tempest*.
Which is my favorite play.
Difficult or inebriated. Boom.
It actually is my favorite play.
I've never read.
That's where my
Inbred.
nickname for like most stuff comes from, temporal,
Uh,
and it's related to the Tempest.
didn't know that.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. I was Chris. I was here with Adam,
He was Chris. He is no longer.
and
Hi,
I was also
Adam.
here with someone named Corey, but they're gone now.
They're, and I'm Adam. I'm
And
the
I'm
only
Chris
one.
again.
The only one remaining.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us in Turning Phrases. We apologize.
Yeah.
I'm here
Please
as a
remember which
spectral
pickle
ghost.
you're going to fuck and which one you're going to kill. Marriage is up to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.